Fans are in full shock as rumors spread like wildfire across Atlanta. A fresh round of rumors has swept over social media, just when everyone believed that Erica Mena and Mendeecees were no longer at odds. And if the truth exists, this may be one of the most combustible controversies in hip-hop and love history. In their opinion, according to many unverified sources close to production, the DNA test was broadcast during the previous season. The individual that purportedly demonstrated that Erica's child wasn't Mendeecees could not have been as authentic as it first seemed. Some insiders are even referring to it as an VH1 cover-up. There are now rumors of a full-on behind-the-scenes internal probe. According to the streets, Erica never changed her mind about her assertion. Had always thought that baby was Mena. Documents purportedly contradicting the findings that were broadcast have suddenly, inexplicably, reappeared. According to reports, one producer left the site last week. Yandy has remained silent. On social media, Men's has stopped talking, and supporters are going crazy in the comments. In order to preserve a plot, did VH1 really fabricate a paternity test? Or is this simply another instance of chaotic, distorted reality TV? Something isn't adding up. Whatever it is, it's becoming more and more messy. It all started on a muggy Atlanta day. Erica Mena was more agitated than normal when she came on, set in the afternoon. She walked like a ghost through the studio's hallways. Her lips were clenched in a line that gave the impression that she was clutching something, and her eyes were locked on the ground. Back, people saw that she avoided making eye contact, and instead of smiling confidently as she usually does, she gave curt nods. She arrived 30 minutes late, according to one staff worker, who only said that she needed to take care of some pressing personal matters. Everywhere she went, whispers followed. Was she still upset over the paternity disclosure from the previous season, or was there something fresh simmering beneath? Then, like drops of water through a broken dam, rumors began to circulate. A conversational snippet was heard in the closet. Someone said they never showed the real results. With furrowed eyebrows, Erica's hairdresser glanced up but immediately went back to folding clothing. The same stylist later collided into when the producer added Stovasi. I swear they shot two endings. One where Erica won and one where she didn't. She almost threw a stack of scripts at an assistant producer in the corridor. The studio was electrified, as if everyone had just discovered they were not actors in a staged reality, but rather participants in a very real-life play. Her co-worker was seen smoking on a balcony with a view of the parking lot that evening. She refused to answer her phone, which was buzzing constantly in her hand. She nodded appreciatively when a friend attempted to approach her with a water bottle, which she received with shaking fingers. She glared at the flickering lights below and answered, "I'm fine," but according to the set crew, she was racing through her lines on camera and fumbling over sentences she had learned for weeks. The shot was halted 5 times by the director, with each pause being broken by Erica's large frame and the sound of her quick breathing. The pivotal moment occurred when a leaked text message, a fan account that had somehow gotten into a secret cast group chat, published the screenshot, which showed a message that caused a social media topic to blow up. From Erica to an unidentified receiver. The envelope was switched, and you saw it as well. The response underneath said, "I have the pictures. Do you really want this to be released?" Fans bombarded Twitter with questions after just one screenshot. Which pictures? Which envelope? Did the producers conspire to conceal the truth from Erica? The production office became a battleground of leaked documents and frenzied meetings when the hashtag #DNA-fraud went viral and thousands of people demanded answers. One background extra said she saw a heated private meeting between Mona Scott-Young and the head of legal matters, with hands waving in exasperation, papers being flung into tables, and voices screaming. One source compared it to a bad game of poker, with each party attempting to bluff the other into folding. In the meanwhile, Erica spent hours at a stretch withdrawing inside her trailer, coming out only to record her confessionals with a hollow voice, watery eyes, and a pale face. Yandy Y, who had been dominated by family images and advertising messages on her social media, became strangely quiet, as if she were reliving a nightmare from which she was unable to escape. At first, producers assumed she was on a vacation, perhaps to focus on her personal health. But when fans saw she hadn't blogged in more than 48 hours, rumors began to circulate. Had Yandy been involved in this scandal? The absence of a response from her side simply added gasoline to the firestorm. Was she covering for Mendeecees? Or worse, was she aware that the DNA test had been rigged? Mendeecees himself became a ghost, missing his customary late-night live broadcast, skipping a planned podcast tape, and even turning down a guest appearance on a talk show advertising the new season. Commentators argued if her quiet was a calculated maneuver or an indication of more serious issues. Fans closely examined every element of a brief post he made on Instagram that stated shortly back, but nothing more. Whether real or imagined, conspiracy channels analyzed the frame-by-frame footage, pointing out the filter, phrase choice, and backdrop lighting. They even claimed to have seen a concealed package on a neighboring table. This pandemonium created the conditions for an off-camera showdown that would reshape the story. The hypothesis spread like wildfire. Erica raced onto the set the morning of a crucial group scene, tears running down her cheeks, and pointed a shaking finger at a producer, demanding to know why she had been given a result that made her seem like she was deluded. "You lied to me." A boom mic recorded snatches of the sound, but for that time, the sound was cut, leaving only loud whispers and muffled tears. Before the transmission was suddenly interrupted and the scene was covered up overnight, "I believed you. Where is my actual DNA test?" Uploaded hazy recordings of the fight, and despite the bad audio quality, the passion was clear. Yandy's gentle efforts at consolation were met with Erica's voice breaking with pain and rage. Almost heard. Audiences were divided, with some seeing it as a call for justice and others as a shrewd attempt to increase viewership. The result was the same. Every teaser and advertising video for the impending reunion special was overshadowed by the storyline surrounding Erica's pregnancy allegation. An internal content audit of the DNA episode was apparently requested by network officials, who saw an opportunity and a problem, assembling a team of reviewers to compare the broadcast material with the master recordings stored in the studio vault. The term audit buzzed through the air, implying that if the recordings showed a different outcome, there would be significant possible legal exposure, a violation of public trust, and a plot stripped of its authenticity. Grapevine, creating still another level of intrigue. Viewers conjectured that the season's conclusion would be completely destroyed if VH1 acknowledged the deceit. Then, Erica posted a single post with a rotating collection of pictures showing her purported pregnancy, each one more intimate than the prior doctor's notes or scanned pictures. "I never wanted to air my truth like this, but y'all deserve to know what's real." She captioned a photo of herself cuddling her baby belly during a wedding shower. The response was swift. Ardent admirers praised it, doubters criticized it harshly, and a never-ending stream of comments questioned if each picture was real. The first chapter of this narrative ended with more questions than answers because the stakes had never been greater. A straightforward paternity storyline had descended into a full-fledged scandal that sliced through the very fabric of what viewers were flocking like vultures, ravenous for every shred of information, while the mystery surrounding their favorite program was further heightened by the primary protagonist's silence. Following the storm, Erica stood near the hurricane's eye, anticipating the direction of the winds. When production revealed a sudden change in the schedule, the mood on set changed once more. VH1's legal team reportedly became skeptical enough to seek a closer look into the master when production members were instructed to appear early for a purported promotional picture shoot and instead found themselves in a windowless meeting room facing a line of stern-faced network execs. The room seemed like a courthouse, with everyone waiting to testify, and the executives made it plain that anything that didn't match the shown DNA scenario would have to be handled publicly. Behind closed doors, Mendeecees was in damage management mode, while Erica, sitting at the back with Yandy at her side, kept her eyes on the table, her lips drawn together as if she were preparing herself for a judgment. Microphones caught him crying up as he denied any participation in doctored findings, and sources claim he spent hours confined in a recording studio, making tearful admissions for a unique insider feature that may never broadcast. Whether real or not, his alleged recordings leaked out as excerpts tweeted by unnamed insiders. His voice broke with sincerity, but several crew members muttered that the emotion seemed staged. "Every tape is more mysterious than the previous. I'm only human, and I never requested it. I wish I could go back in time." Yandy, who was frequently regarded as the family's sane voice, was uninvitedly thrust into the spotlight after a brief uncut video of her pacing a hallway with her phone to her ear surfaced. "We need clarity. This cannot be how the season ends," she said in a hushed but passionate voice. Fans examined every second of the video, discussing if Yandy was planning a secret. After she refused to disclose who she was phoning, stoking rumors that she was working with the network or even a private investigator campaign to reveal the truth or just asking for some sense of normalcy in her marriage, the pressure increased after a trail of stolen emails went viral online, claiming to be communication between the executive producer and VH1's director of programming. One statement in particular caught our attention in the images of the emails, which addressed narrative integrity, audience retention, and possible fallout. If we accept the DNA, if we acknowledge it was a fake, we lose credibility. If the test was true, we lose the plot. We must find a middle ground. Viewers felt deceived and caught between indignation and morbid interest as uncertainty erupted on social media. Could a network really fabricate something so delicate and intimate? Erika took an extraordinary action in response to the incident, which went beyond reality TV and touched on industry ethics. In a shadowy screening room at an unidentified Atlanta studio, she summoned a select group of superfans and blogging influencers to a private showing of what she said were the unedited DNA scene outtakes. Erika's real response to the test results she was never intended to see was captured in the uncut, emotional video, which attendees described as evoking tears as she looked at the camera, her surprise evident. The films didn't resolve any issues, with some saying she seemed deceived and others saying she appeared vindicated. As viewers continued to question why the original film was hidden, they just served to stoke the fire and increase the mystery. Text communications between Erika and her personal lawyer about a possible defamation action against VH1 surfaced as the third video leak. Citing provisions in her contract, Erika's attorney claims she might seek damages if the network intentionally broadcast misleading material. One message said, "We have grounds to file, but you must decide soon. There is a strict statute of limitations." Erika gave a straightforward response, indicating that she was considering her legal options. The idea of suing the rest of the cast found it difficult to continue filming as the network sent shockwaves through the industry, causing gossip blogs to fabricate headlines about an upcoming court battle. Bambi was seen looking through her phone between shoots, her eyes widening as she heard reports about a secret DNA scene, while Kirk, Frost, and Bambi were seen on camera attempting to practice a humorous moment for an upcoming episode, but their laughing sounded false. Ivana Ventura, an old friend of Erika Mena, traveled in for a cameo, but according to reports, she abruptly canceled, claiming loyalty issues and awkward situations. The gap created by her absence only served to highlight Erika's sense of isolation as outside analysts stepped in to analyze every possibility. Self-described some suggested that VH1 might turn the entire story into a special event, rebranding the reunion episode as an exposé, while others compared it to the controversies of classic daytime talk shows, bringing names like staged reconciliations, paternity hearings, and network cover-ups into the discussion. Others hypothesized that Erika was purposefully extending the drama to increase her personal profile, citing her soaring engagement and expanding social media following. Whether it was truth-seeking or manipulation, as production concluded on a crucial group meal scene, tension neared a breaking point, and Erika arrived late, clearly upset, adding to the spectacle's suspense. Cameras were filming, but she was holding a packet of papers, whispering that they had the actual DNA results, and she planned to show them to Mona Scott right now. Erika confronted Mona, handed over the folder, and demanded an explanation in the grainy surveillance footage that was leaked by a crew member after this moment was cut from the broadcast feed. The footage ended with Mona's composed response, which viewers could hear before the camera was turned off. Volumes. By the conclusion of that exhausting day, Erika's future on the show was still up in the air, and producers allegedly sat up late discussing whether to make a statement recognizing the controversy or completely rework the reunion plot. While some said that revealing the truth may change the course of reality TV history and establish a new standard for openness, others were concerned that it would permanently harm the franchise's image. Despite all of this, Erika remained strong and refused to let the drama break her. That day, her last on-set moment standing by herself beneath the studio lights, rock in hand, and furious eyes became the emblem of a season marred by mystery and uncertainty. With just her closest confidant, a longtime friend who had come in to support her, Erika withdrew to a secret location the night following the storm on set. They sat in near darkness, with the brightness of a single phone screen illuminating her face as she browsed through stolen audio files, and she said, her voice quivering, "I can't believe they'd risk everything for a storyline," as her buddy put an arm over her shoulders and told her that the truth had weight and that people were already supporting it. Erika knew the momentum was growing as rumors of a class action lawsuit had started to circulate, and fan sites in Atlanta were organizing a live feed of Demand the Truth for the reunion show. The next morning, cast and crew assembled in the same windowless conference room where the DNA audit had been disclosed for an emergency meeting called by production, which was reportedly attended by top brass from VH1 headquarters. The atmosphere was different this time, however, as executives arrived with printed binders. Cameras were already rolling for what they refer to as reality TV meets real life, and a producer spoke to the gathering. No one wanted to be the next victim of a fan-driven conspiracy theory. So they darted around the room, saying quietly, "We need to contain rumors before they become front-page headlines." Meanwhile, a crowd of reality TV bloggers and photographers had set up shop outside the studio, holding banners that said, "Erica deserves justice and the footage should be released." A network publicist attempted to shoo them away, but the crowd's voice just became louder. Live tweets erupted on social media, with some criticizing VH1 for allegedly manipulating the situation and others supporting the franchise's right to tell an engaging story. After originally withdrawing from her cameo appearance, Ivana reappeared on Instagram Live, offering her support for Erica and promising to travel back for the reunion in the event that the network declined to provide an explanation for the DNA findings. Inside the building, Erica got ready for her. She sat in a stark confessional booth, an unscripted confessional that had been added at the last minute, a warning indication that the network could be going to show her uncensored responses. Microphone fastened to her top, lights glaring painfully in her eyes. Erica inhaled deeply and stared straight into the camera as the red recording lights switched on. Despite the tears welling up at the corners of her eyes, she started to speak steadily. "I deserve to know. I'm not here to play games. Program me the actual DNA test, please. This program is about my life." Hide behind envelopes and edits. Producers watched her speak from a control room with several screens. Some made notes frantically, while others nodded in accord. While Mendeecees was nowhere to be seen, rumors circulated that Mona Scotch was watching from a distance, and that Eric's admission may be the pivotal moment in the network's handling of the problem. His absence fueled speculation that he was planning his own rebuttal, which might include a surprise Instagram Live appearance or a sit-down interview with a prominent talk show. Hours later, a mysterious social media account purporting to be that of a network insider vowed to reveal the whole unedited DNA film at midnight, with conspiracy channels speculating that the footage would show Erica's paternity probability at almost 100%, complete with lab technician commentary. Fans set alarms and engaged in wild speculation. TV blogs teased the biggest twist since paternity test episodes became TV staples, and others predicted it would be inconclusive, further clouding the waters and giving VH1 plausible deniability. In any case, the excitement reached fever pitch. With countdown clocks embedded in fan sites and reality, truth always finds a way, Yandi said in an ambiguous Instagram story picture that featured a dark screen with white writing. Just 4, without any tags or explanation. Words "the time is the problem" was flawless, leading to rumors that she was supporting Erica or quietly criticizing the network's strategies. Yandi's silence in the face of a barrage of comments demanding explanations strengthened the perception that she was either actively engaged in behind-the-scenes discussions or purposefully kept her denials credible. During that flurry, Yandi took an unusual step and shared a mysterious message on her Instagram account, which included a dark background with white letters that said, "Truth always finds a manner." Just the 4 words, no tags, no explanation. The timing was perfect, leading to rumors that she was supporting Erica or quietly criticizing the network's strategies. As midnight drew near and a handful of tuned in, comments poured in, seeking explanations, but Yandi said nothing, confirming the notion that she was either actively engaged in behind-the-scenes talks or purposefully preserving plausible deniability. A loading symbol flashed, and the screen went dark just before the clock struck 12. The unauthorized live broadcast, which purported to have insider access, was unsteady, alternating between fan responses and fuzzy video. Collective moans reverberated across windows of live chat. Was it a failed fan prank, a network breach, or the quiet before a torrent of real revelations? Then, at precisely 12, the screen flashed back on, revealing a dull room with a long table, but no one knew, so everyone remained logged in, reluctant to miss a single second of what may be television history. A guy in a white coat, who was probably a technician, sat at one end, and Erica sat down opposite him. The angle ideal for her face and the man's computer screen. The camera turned to black as she opened a sealed envelope marked with a date from the previous season, and a voice murmured, "That's all we're allowed to show." A few seconds later, the film abruptly disappeared from all recordings and streams, erasing fans' expectations for a definitive response. The outrage was swift, and the VH1 cover-up was proven. Read one headline, then another about a genuine scandal or a fake leak. Several producers were reportedly rushing to control the narrative, drafting statements, coordinating with legal teams, and deciding whether to address the ordeal during the reunion or issue a public statement. In response, Erica posted a single tear emoji, a gesture that spoke louder than any statement. In the morning after the midnight leak attempt, Erica watched with her phone in hand as her friends and admirers promised to support her until the truth was out. The set was tense, with crew workers moving like shadows, checking their phones every few seconds, and muttering in corners. Erica came first, her eyes dark. From sleep deprivation, holding a travel mug of black coffee, she stopped at the door, looking around the lot as if she was waiting for the security cameras to turn on. And her aide gave her a stack of as if they were war plans. Erica took a deep breath, flipped through the printouts, social media postings, conspiracy theories, and legal comments, slipped the sheets into her jacket pocket, and strode onto the platform with a resolute step, prepared for whatever the day would bring. Inside the studio, the first scene for the season finale was already being filmed. Mendeecees sat at the head of the table, face down, hands clutching a fork like a lifeline. In what producers believed was an uncomfortable group breakfast meant to divert attention away from the controversy. At the other end, Rashida and Kirk Frost exchanged nervous looks while Bambi typed away on her phone under the table, eyes darting to check if anybody was looking. Yandy hovered close by, giving him a drink of juice and a tight grin. Mendeecees tried to sound normal by pretending to chuckle as the crew called for action, but his voice broke. Betraying the effort, Erica sat in the same booth, lights blazing, microphone fastened to her top, and waited for her confessional to be scheduled before going on camera. This time, though the network was forced to broadcast her statements uncut, Erica's lips quivered but her voice remained firm as the red light continued to flash. "I came here to share my truth," she said. "I'm tired of being gaslit on my own show," she added softly. "It's okay if they want to keep their plot intact. Viewers demand honesty," she said, pausing, her eyes sparkling. "But they can't keep rewriting my life. Demand honesty, and I'm prepared to die on this hill." An assistant returned to the scene with some news. Fresh rumors were sparked by a cryptic remark sent by the network's official account regarding checking material integrity. Erica's eyebrows tightened, and she gestured for her companion, who had flown in earlier to join her, and she checked timelines on their phones, figuring out when production withdrew the confessional edits, when Yandy tweeted her mysterious narrative, and when leaks occurred. Her response sequence was cut short, her unfiltered emotions were concealed, and the point seemed to support Erica's assumption. The world now had to decide what story to believe. When the scene returned, Mendeecees glanced up to see Erica eyeing him from behind the camera, their eyes briefly locking. After a history-filled, silent exchange, Erica turned to leave and walked to her designated spot, joining the group breakfast sequence. The click of her heels reverberated through the quiet studio like a ticking clock, and the tension was evident. Everyone pretended to eat cereal while considering the larger drama, as the director called to action once again, and Rashida tried a little joke about omelets, but her chuckle was empty. Kirk gave Mena a pitying look. Later that afternoon, Mona Scott Young sat at a long table with the executive producer, head of programming, and legal counsel in a secret meeting that was held in a corner office. The atmosphere was tight, the air heavy with the stench of stale coffee and tension, and Erica and her lawyer were allowed to attend. Mona started, in a calm but strong tone. "Kara's attorney said, 'We understand your concerns, Erica, but we have contractual obligations, liability issues, and creative considerations.' Papers were transferred back and forth, and we're not here to make excuses. The reputation of our client is on the line." Erica refused to sign until the actual DNA findings were clear, so she watched them stack the papers like cards in a poker hand, planned statements, confidentiality agreements, damage management strategies. Fans had gathered for a demonstration. Outside the studio, where reality TV bloggers and superfans carried posters calling for openness, one fan was wearing a t-shirt that said, "Show me the proof." A printed meme depicting Erica appearing deceived was brought by another. Chants from live streams reverberated through downtown Atlanta and was carried into the studio through open windows, where production workers checked the noise level in the middle of the shot and exchanged anxious looks. The line between on-screen drama and reality. Everyone could see that spectacle had completely fallen apart. Erica leaned forward in the conference room, her voice quiet but determined. "If the network thinks the DNA test was real, then let me watch the master tapes," she stated. "If not, acknowledge that the scenario was staged." A lengthy pause ensued, during which Mona and the head of legal affairs exchanged glances before the latter groaned and pointed to an assistant. The room tensed as a guy in a suit brought in a sealed box marked archival footage. The envelope that had caused so much agony was now physically there. Her heart was racing as she grabbed for it, but before she could open the box, Yandy The voice came unexpectedly from the doorway. "This is tearing us apart," she continued, her voice trembling, "and we owe it to our family, our fans, and ourselves to have the truth on record." Her face was pale, but her